right, sports fans, welcome back for another episode of The Fade in the End. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Rychel. Big man to the bottom, Mr. Ben Troupe is here, and we're also going to be joined by one of our brothers from another mother, Mr. Marvin Powell III. Marvin, Ben, how are we feeling this morning?
I mean, I'm feeling good over here. I mean, none of my teams are winning games, but I was very, very impressed with them Jets, though. Didn't get the dub, but just
listen. One of the main reasons I wanted to bring Marvin on, I know he was busy last night. We couldn't get him on Inside the Pigskin, but as far as the week one performances goes, I wanted to tip the cap to the New York Jets right there. They're going to be the lifeline of the New Jersey, New York area fans, because after what I've seen from the New York Giants this past week, they ain't got much to talk about that now. We'll get to the Giants in a minute, but I guess what I'll do is we'll go around the horn real fast. Obviously, week one NFL's in the books. You know, there was spitting, there was fighting in the stands, there was fourth quarter comebacks. Couldn't ask for a better week one. Welcome back to the NFL. Let's start off with Marvin. Obviously, you know, the New York Jets is going to be near and dear to your hearts there. What was your, who was your surprises? Who was your disappointments? How did week one feel for you?
You know, it's one of those situations where you never want to see your ex-girlfriend go somewhere else, you know, and have a good life and do well. You know what I'm saying? And what I saw was Aaron Rodgers thug it out. And I saw Aaron Rodgers, you know, do what it takes to get the win. Now, from a Jet fan's perspective, I'm looking at it like this. Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers, they've been, you know, a class organization. They've had winning records for the last 15 years. And it's a team where when you get that win against the Steelers, you should feel good about that. We didn't get the win. And in football, there are no moral victories. But I'll tell you what, we look good. We look competent. We look like, you know, we can score some points. We look like we can stop some people. I don't know if the Steelers are going to be a playoff team this year. Maybe. I told y'all earlier, I think the Jets can go 10-7. That might not put them in the playoffs. That might not be good enough. But as a Jet fan, I don't walk away with disappointment. I mean, we lost. I'm used to that. I'm a Jet fan, you know. But it's the way that we lost, to be honest with you. And I feel good about our quarterback situation. I do. I think Justin Fields is just going to get better throughout the year. I like what we can do in the run game. I like Garrett Wilson. I still like what we can do on defense. The first week for the Jets showed me that we have a team that can play ball. You know, and I think again, as we get better and go through the season, you're going to see some wins. You're going to see, you know, players develop. You're going to see some of our younger guys step up. But I was very encouraged by the overall quarterback play and just watching Justin go out there and look confident. Definitely some plays that he'd want to take back. But considering that you still consider him to a degree a young guy. I was happy with the performance. With what I saw, because it could have looked a lot worse. And as a Jet fan who's seen a lot of week one losses, period, it wasn't bad. We can clean some of that stuff up. And again, we're playing against a veteran Hall of Fame quarterback who is not in his prime, but he has enough gas in the tank to get it done. And that's what Jet fans were wanting to see for the last 2 years. Obviously, it didn't happen like that. As a Jet fan, I'm encouraged going into week two.
Ben, what surprised you and what was disappointing to you, brother?
Daniel Jones, I apologize, man. I had a lot to say about you going into this season. I did not see that happening. Daniel Jones looked good. What, 7 drives, 7 points, 7 scoring drives?
Yeah, I got to put it up. You brought it up. I got to pull it up. The first quarterback in NFL history to score on every single one of his drives. How does that even in a regular season game? How does that even happen? Because he was, you know, everyone was telling us he was done. He was done.
That's what happened. When you get about it, New York, him and Saquon. I'm not saying he's gonna have a Saquon Barkley type season, but for one game, the coach loved it and Anthony Richardson hated it. He like, God, because this is the same offense, just a different dude in there. The Rams. Matthew Stafford missed the whole preseason, went out there and was throwing it around. Houston got a problem. Houston, I don't know. We'll talk about that later. The Chargers, they had to do it overseas, but they got it done. They were like, look, we don't beat those Chiefs a lot in the States. Maybe we got to go to Brazil twice a year to deal with them. But it was a really, really good game. I think Justin Herbert and company, they look really, really good. I got to talk about the Jets, though. Man, Justin Fields look good. Everybody want to talk about this Pittsburgh Steelers DBs. I know Jalen Ramsey made a play at the end. Justin Fields did what he wanted, when he wanted, how he wanted. On Porter, on Darius Slay, even on Jalen Ramsey. I do agree with what you said, Marvin. No one wants to lose, but how you look. Oh, they was nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Justin Fields was looking at Mike Tomlin like, you made the wrong decision. I know you went with him over me, but it's cool. But I like the fact that Justin Fields is settling in. Aaron Glenn, even though what is his name? Xavier Dawson, whatever his name, the young receiver that got cut. Aaron Glenn ain't playing by the turnover. He said we ain't gonna turn the ball over. They got rid of him, but the Jets was really, really impressive. J.J. McCartney, listen to me, young man. That's impressive. You missed a full year, and they waited to run an RPO at the last series, the fourth quarter. Caleb Williams, I mean, now we'll see, but he spoiled it for Ben Johnson. Like, nope, you ain't getting your first win against me. You won't have to go there. And I don't see you. You might have to play Detroit. He sure ain't gonna get it against Jordan Love and company, which they look real good. But these are my disappointments though, because Jordan Love looked good. Every team that won mostly looked good. These are my disappointments though. What's going on in Detroit? I'm like, what is that?
We called this before the season. We know what's going on in Detroit. All right, listen. I want to get into a few things here. Which one was the bigger surprise, right? The Baltimore Ravens giving up 17 points in the last 7 minutes, 7 minutes of the game, or was it the wheels falling off down in Chicago and Minnesota coming back because the beginning of that game the Bears were in the driver's seat. Same thing with the Ravens games. The Ravens had everything under control for full quarters of that game, and that you get the nice one-handed catch by D-Hop, you think it's over. I turned the game off. I was like, all right, cool. Watch TV with wifey. The next thing I know, I have to check the phone as I'm about to go to sleep, seeing that Bills came back and won that game. So which one is the bigger letdown for you? Was it the Ravens defense letting the Bills back in and winning that game, or was it Chicago just completely falling apart and letting Minnesota win? Which one was the bigger loss? So I guess we'll start with Ben on this one.
That's easy. That's the Ravens for two reasons. Number one, you got an MVP in Lamar Jackson. You up 40-25. But bigger than that, this ain't the defense. It's Derrick Henry. I don't want to hear about all these yards you run. You put the ball on the ground when you know they're gonna be punching at it. That is football 1-on-1. If Marvin is the running backs coach for the Ravens, yo Derrick, high and tight. So, What's frustrating about it is haven't this been the Raiders like Monica since Lamar Jackson's been there? They can't finish. They can play you hard, but they can't close on the team. And a team like Buffalo, that is why Josh Allen won MVP. Because they say, hey, we got Josh Allen. You give us some time on the clock, we got a shot to beat you. Because Keon Coleman is their best receiver for Buffalo. He's a second-year player, had a good game. But outside of D-Hop making the one-hander, you ain't hear from him much, right? Derrick Henry was going crazy at first, but then he kind of like his best, when you fumble the football, I don't want to look at the box score. And Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, that's my fantasy running back and freaking quarterback. So I want him to eat. Make no mistake about it. But Marvin knows this. It don't mean nothing if you put the ball on the ground. All that other stuff is great. Fantasy owners like myself, but if you put the ball on the ground, and I do agree, and I appreciate Derrick Henry saying I put this loss on me. But Buffalo was telling if you are Baltimore, you're saying, dude, we couldn't beat them. We up 40-25. What's gonna happen if we meet them in the playoffs, particularly the AFC Championship game, or dare I say, playoff? That's why. Listen, I apologize to Josh Allen because it was MVP versus MVP, and it was a complete, team win. But it's got to be Baltimore, man. You know how many Buffalo Bills fans in the car say, "Wait, what? They trying to get back in the stadium."
Let me pull something up for you right here, right? Buffalo is now one of the first teams to overcome that large of a deficit with under 4 minutes to go in the game. So that's a dubious achievement to ring on the heads of what a lot of people feels is a dominant Baltimore defense. And I agree with you. It has to be Baltimore, because you can't get so upset with the Bears letting Minnesota come back in. First off, Minnesota was a playoff team last year. Regardless of it, Sam Darnold was the quarterback. Now you get J.J. McCarthy in there. But we all know how it is when you're in divisional matchups, week one. Y'all know each other so well, you're going to have those close back and forth type games. So I would have to say, like, out of those two comeback losses, that the bigger one is Baltimore taking that out to Buffalo, because they're not divisional rivals. They're conference rivals. And like you were saying, Ben, if they go see each other, AFC Championship game, if you're Buffalo, you got to be pretty pumped to know you can take their best punches and give it back. Marvin, do you agree with us here? Or do you got another take on this? How you feeling?
No, I definitely agree. I mean, listen, Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, we've been waiting for him to get over the hump, waiting to see if this was going to be his year. Multiple MVPs. And what needs to come next is a Super Bowl, but not just for him, but for Josh, and outside of Mahomes, the AFC has been about who's coming up next. Is it going to be Baltimore or Buffalo? So when you see a game like this where Baltimore appears to be in control and they lose the game at a point where you thought, people are going home. Think about how much money you spend to go to a game. Think about how excited you are to watch this first game of the season. People cutting off the TV, people leaving the stadium. That means you're supposed to close that out, and you didn't close that out. Now, that's not on Lamar, but he's the captain of the ship. And at the end of the day, we put it all, on the quarterback, and that's, some of that's fair, some of that's not. But trust me, Ben is right. The last thing they told that offense when they went on the field was squeeze the ball, no turnovers. 4-minute offense. Like they that was said. They heard all that. So it's unfortunate to see how they lost the game. And without question, it was a tremendous letdown for Baltimore. The question is, how does this really impact them moving forward? Because who are they really looking at in the AFC to get to the championship? They're looking at Buffalo. They're looking at KC. That's who they're looking at. Okay. And you just took an L in this fashion. It's demoralizing. It's for the fan base, for the organization, for the team. It's demoralizing to see that you can be up and be in control, but Josh Allen and that Buffalo Bill defense, they still have something to say. So, without question, this was bigger for the Ravens. And it's early in the season. It's week one. A lot of football to be played, but these games count. These games matter. And when you look at who the elite teams are in the AFC, and you lose in week one to one of them, it hurts and you feel it.
And before we get off of Buffalo, we got to get into some fan etiquette. And this is going to be the overall theme this week is how some of these fans are acting some of these games. What was this Bills fan thinking? First, he puts his hands on D-Hop on the touchdown. Then as Lamar's walking by, he shoves Lamar. Lamar shoves him back. From what I'm understanding now is this fan is officially banned from all 32 stadiums. I don't condone this in any way. Like, listen, y'all ain't like these supreme rivals. There was nothing that neither player did to facilitate the fan putting their hands on a player. That's listen, that's a no-go for me. That we've seen a lot of stuff happen this weekend. I don't know if you guys seen the thing with the Rams and the Texans fan girl that had her nose broken. Was wearing a JJ Watt jersey. Looked like she was cosplaying JJ from that famous photo you see of JJ with his nose busted up, taped up, coming off the field. But what is like I don't get this. Like, listen, I'm a crazy Philly fan. I still don't get this. Like, what makes fans think they can sit there and put their hands on players with no recourse? I'm glad the NFL suspended the Bills fan. And definitely, I know he has issued a public apology to both players, the NFL, etc. I guess he's trying to get some leniency. I'm going to start with Marvin, then I'm going to go to Ben here. Marvin, what are your thoughts on the, I guess, the players, putting their hands on the fan putting their hands on players in the midst of a game for absolutely no reason? What's going on here?
Yeah. So listen, fan being short for fanatic. These fans are delusional, crazy, and ignorant. You think because you're a fan, I think a lot of fans see athletes as like cartoon characters and not real people. You know what I mean? And that allows them to say and do crazy things. Do you realize that in any other scenario, if you're not in that stadium and this fan pushes the player, hits the player, that's assault, and that player can assault you back. I mean, this could be fatal for people in certain situations. And the fact that you think that you get the okay for whatever reason because you're a fan in the stadium, there's a wall there, you don't put your hands on the athlete. Are you out of your mind? You're there to show appreciation and have gratitude and enjoy the game. But to put your hands on another man, I don't even look at it in terms of it's a fan and it's an athlete. This is two grown men. That's really what it comes down to. And you putting your hands on this dude in an aggressive manner. That's insane. And listen, at the end of the day, banning him from all the stadiums is the right thing to do. I think in these situations, you should make an extreme example, for all the sports, to be honest with you, because you see some stuff.
Oh, like I said, this is going to be the theme of the day because we got a couple other things to get to as far as fan etiquette goes. And me, Ben, and Luther were talking this last week about fan etiquette. Having CEOs stealing autographs at tennis games and stuff like that. There's a line you don't cross in this. And, one thing is, as a grown man grabbing another grown man, one's a professional athlete, one is a spectator. I think that's a line you don't cross. I don't care. I don't care what was said. And the same thing goes for I think basketball is the worst when it comes to fans and heckling. Yeah. I think basketball is the absolute worst. We've seen that over the past 5 years of multiple different players having altercations with fans, fans being thrown out, kicked out, etc. There's a line you don't cross when being a fan and it comes to a professional athlete. And this is one of those cases. I do hope they uphold and do suspend this guy and don't let him back anymore. Some people are better off left at home. You want to be acting all crazy, go destroy your living room, your TV when your team has a bad day. Don't be getting upset and grabbing athletes and thinking it's okay. I'm not with that. Ben, go ahead, Marvin, finish up.
Yeah, I was just going to say, listen, and I get they're trying to give the fans a great experience, so they have the fans really close to the field or close to the court and close proximity to the players. But now you see the issues with that, and we've been seeing that. I think these leagues have to do a better job of separating the players from these fans, because you're going to see more of these crazy people just showing their passion in the worst way.
Ben, go ahead. Your thoughts on this particular incident?
I mean, Marvin hit it head on. Sometimes with these fans, they know what environment they're in. They know where they at. They know how much protection they have. Because let's take it the other way. Let's say Lamar and DeAndre, they lose it on this fan. They're going to make it all about, look at these athletes, can't control themselves. A professional athlete is in such a unfair situation all the time. The camera's always on you. They're looking at your face, looking at your mannerisms, looking at your demeanor. Did you just touch me? Yeah. Now, Marvin said it, though. These are the rules of engagement. Would you say it to me, do it to me if we was out there in public? And the answer is no. So if you can't do it in public, you can't do it in the professional setting, right? I don't care who you are, because fans are very, very impassioned people. I get it. But look at the restraint Lamar had to show. He grabbed him like, because you grabbing me, but he had to realize, I'm Lamar Jackson. I got endorsements. I'm the face of the league. I'm a two-time. All these things are on your mind. But I can speak for Marvin when I say this. Don't keep trying your luck, though. Because one fan gonna get it for all these other fans. And I try my best to get it when it comes to these fans, but the heckling in basketball is different because they so close to the fan. They right there behind them. In football, you got some space in between you,
And the fans know they got space in between us too. They know. What are you really saying to a D lineman? What are you really saying to a running back? You ain't saying it for real. Because here's the thing. A lot of these fans don't think you're going to remember their face in public if you see them again. You ain't going to remember me. But if we in public and I notice you, you like, and I just look at you, which it wouldn't happen that way. We live in an age now that the perception of youth sports is not professional sports. See, some of these fans got kids and they go to youth sports and they yelling at the refs. And let me tell you, that doesn't. And the farther you go up, now you're dealing with grown men. Now you're dealing with grown men and grown women who, Marvin said it, we are people first now. I have to remember, whoa, your family member have to pull you back in. Hey, Marvin, you can't say that. You're right. You can't do that. Because don't get it twisted. Just because we're former players now, we still under the same microscope. Let us do something. Let us show our human side. Because people don't get to play football. You got a high level of aggression now that you have to keep under wraps. I play football for a living. So, and I can keep that under wraps when it comes to my family and my, friends, but don't pull it out of me. And even Lamar Jackson's not the biggest dude you ever seen. He's very, very slender when you look at him in person, but he played football for a living. And I guarantee you, even that small little joke, that fan felt like he's strong.
Mm-hmm.
He would have ripped you out them stands.
Mm-hmm.
A kicker will rip you out them stands. And that's the part I don't like. I don't like people going to the defense of the fan. Oh, he was excited. Stay in your seat. Oh, man, he was just in the moment. Don't touch me. You can be all those things and don't touch me because it's unfair to the athlete. He got to answer questions. He got to make public apologies. The Baltimore Ravens got to make public apologies. And all I'm saying is one of these times when they're going to say, all right, if a fan touches a player, all bets are off because you touched him. I bet you they won't touch him then. I guarantee you it's like I compare it to students and teachers. A lot of these students know a teacher can't touch you. That's why they talk the way they talk. Are you gonna do this? But why don't they talk to the male teachers like that? Why don't they talk to the substitute male teacher, the one that say, "Hey, bro, I don't need this job." Then the conversation comes down because they're like, "Hey, dude, you a teacher? Oh, now I'm a teacher. Now I'm a grown man." So all I'm saying is, I respect what Lamar and DeAndre did, but in that locker room, they're like, "Dude, he touched me, bro." Like, no, I don't want to see no fan get pummeled. That's not going to be. I'm not saying that at all. Keep your hands to yourself, man. You listen. You're gonna say some stuff. We ain't LeBron. Sometimes LeBron gonna get people kicked out, depending on what they say. He's LeBron. If you heard the stuff that is said to football players, if you could hear it, some of this stuff, you just be like, let me not even. You know what I'm saying? Because our family understands sometimes, but it's. I was happy at how the league handled it. I was happy, but to those people saying, to the Skip Baylesses of the world, who he's back out here again, saying stuff like, "I think it was bad for Lamar." Akeem Talib, like, "No, you want to be a part of the show? I'm gonna rip you in. There was a video of Marcus Peters, who used to play, former cornerback. This is when he played for the Rams. I think he played for the Rams or the Raiders or somebody. And it's a fan talking trash. So he walk up in the stands and said, "What you say?" Fan got real quiet. They had to pull him out the stands. And I'm telling you, listen, we just lost the game. I'm already feeling a type way. I'm mad that we lost. And you gonna grab me? Come on, man. Let's not do that. Cause listen, could you imagine if he would have reared back like he was gonna punch him? Oh, that's front page news. So good job, Lamar. Good job, DeAndre. DeAndre always understanding they're always watching us. They're looking for us to show, because football is both perception and reality. The perception of it is, hey, man, I love these players. The reality of it is, don't touch me. Don't touch me, man. So I was happy to how both players handled it. But that fan, dude, you got known for the wrong reasons. And he going back to work, people saying, yeah, I grabbed Lamar Jackson. I grabbed DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, but we know what could have happened to you. Come on, bro. Let's stop the nonsense.
Absolutely. And speaking of nonsense, me and you talked about this last week, Ben. We're saying, what is the league going to be going hard on this year? What are the ridiculous penalties going to be? And it didn't take us long to find out. So this is our boy Nolan Smith Jr., right? This is him being flagged for taunting. As you can see, he is not over top of the player he tackled. He is not even within arm's reach of the player that he tackled. He is just simply flexing after making a big play behind the line of scrimmage, right? I'm gonna start with Marvin. How's this taunting? Someone explain this to me, please. I know I'm an Eagles fan and I'm biased here. I need somebody to straighten this out for me because I don't get it.
You know, a lot of that is it's like holding and hands to the face. A lot of it's so subjective, you know what I'm saying? And it's really based on the interpretation and the feelings and the comfort level of the ref. That's really how I look at that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I think the league is trying to take a certain element out the game just to clean it up, make it look better, trying to avoid, you know, what could come. But, you know, this was obviously something that was not looked at correctly. And like I said, when it's subjective like that and you're trying to determine, is it aggressive, is it bad, you know, depending upon the individual, that'll determine what they want to call. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I hate it for y'all. I do. But I think it was out of place for sure.
Ben, your thoughts on this one? We like I said, we talked about this last week. We were like, what is it going to be? And I think we kind of all felt like it was going to be the celebration type thing. But, man, I didn't think it was going to be like this, man. It was. What are your thoughts on this? Because I know Nolan's your boy, too. So what are your thoughts here, brother?
Number one, taunting should be something that we all can identify, whether we refs or not, whether we them zebras out there or not. Do you know how hard it is? You know how hard football is? I made a one-on-one tackle against an NFL running back for a loss, and I flexed my muscle. What am I supposed to do? Like, when I think of taunting, like if I think of taunting, I think of, you know, when Golden Tate was running, you know, scoring a touchdown, and he 15 yards in, he's looking back, pointing at, that's taunting, right? Because I'm trying to get at you, right? If I'm Nolan, I'm going to keep flexing. I'm going to just back up some more. Okay, that's too close. Let me back up a couple of more feet. I'm going to flex. Number one, I work hard to get my body to look like this. So sometimes I'm flexing for more than one reason. People can look at this, my lady up in the stands. I'm just saying, I think it's crazy, though. It is not a ref's job to do that much. Dude, your job is to call flags and making sure we play within the confines of the game. I flex. Okay. So what about all these? So that means that no defensive end can flex anymore for a sack. Because, you know, they're going to get right. When they get sacks, they get right. So now it's going to be, you know, what about when Clay Matthews used to do the Predator, when he used to stick his arms way out? Or you got guys that be, man, let me tell you something. Nolan, keep playing football, man. Because what you're trying to do, you're trying to discourage any level of celebration. If Marvin Powell II come up through the hole and he blasts his linebacker, he might say something to him. Hey, boy, I told you. Hey, Marvin, stop that talking. Stop talking to who? We can't talk. We can't flex. We can't. I'm not going to let the no fun league make it not fun anymore. Sometimes you got to be willing to break some rules, man. You got to be willing, because I only get so many opportunities, man. I think about it. The guy in the league that's going to have the most touchdowns is going to be, what, 15 touchdowns? So I can only celebrate when I get in the end zone? Or can I remember when they give you a flag for just doing a first down or doing something with the football. They had to get rid of that. So now it's, hey, man, taunting. And as Marvin said, taunting is subjective, but it has to be taunting first. Like, it has to be – first it has to be taunting. Hey, man, should that be 15? Should that –
now, you know, where I'll say I would have been okay with it is if Nolan was standing over top of him, not letting him to get up after the tackle. That's taunting. That is, you know, unnecessary celebration. However you want to word that, I would agree with that. But when he's like almost 5 yards away from the guy and he's just flexing, not over top of him, not screaming something at him, he's just flexing, that's not taunting to me. Ben already talked about one of the other situations is when you blow a guy away for a touchdown and you pointing at the guy behind you, sitting there like trying to get at him like that. That's taunting. What we've seen on that specific play, if that's what they're going to call this season, you're absolutely right. The no fun league is 100% back.
I got it.
What are you going to say, Marvin?
So, you know, really what it comes down to is really understanding the culture of the game and the culture of the sport. Football is an alpha male sport. And it's a sport where for you to be ready to do this, you have to be turned up in a different way other than basketball or swimming or tennis. Okay, this is a sport of violence. It's a sport where you're taught to attack. This is a sport where people have lost their life, you know. So when you're up against a man in a one-on-one battle and you win, that adrenaline's still going. You know what I'm saying? You're not even thinking about, you know, the celebration or what they're calling the taunt. You're just excited in that moment because as a warrior in that Coliseum, you just won your battle, you know, and your body's still feeling that. So this is really what we're talking about. And I think that's something that needs to be taken into account. So, yeah, I think it was a bit much.
It was, and I got it. It's simple. Just don't look at him. I'm a flex, but I'm not flexing towards him. I'm just going to flex away from him because most of the time they'll say, well, he was looking in his direction or whatever.
Yeah, make sure you look at your sideline now, too. Don't look at the other sideline no more. Make sure you flexing in front of your boys, not the other team.
If you want to know why the conversations after a game last as long as they do, because we are watching where the action is. That don't mean that's not where the only action is. The play went to the left. I'm on the right. It's going down on the right. Y'all, the camera just on the left, right? And Marvin just said it. When we get graded after a game, they're seeing how many pluses you had compared to minuses. They're seeing, did you do your job? Number one, Nolan had to first keep outside contain, right? To create a new line of scrimmage, check. Make the tackle. He did all three. He did all three of those. Most time you might do 1 of 3, maybe 2 of 3, and I got a tackle for a loss. When he get the flex, you know what Nolan gonna say, fellas? That's on me, because when you get a penalty when it's not supposed to be, it'll make it look like you make it about you, and he wasn't. But hey, still flex. If he's over here, turn to the right. Just don't look at him. Don't do nothing towards him, because you got to put pressure on these refs to say, dude, do y'all have a quota of how many? You know, is this the first of the money? Y'all traffic cops, and y'all just pulling people over who are a little bit over the speed limit? Because that's what we gonna say if you pull us over, right? Hey man, what y'all got? We ain't got no quota. I got a lot of police out here. Was the president at the time or something going on? So yeah, I just think that football, with people who don't understand, it's so mental, man. Yo, the most mild-mannered, easygoing, nice person in the world that play football, he a little different up here. He got to be to play football. And you mean to tell me I saw this on tape, I prepared for this play, I made it, and I get a flag? That's what's demoralizing. I do everything right, flag. And he looked around and said, on me? So keep playing hard, though, Nolan. I think that.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're gonna have to stay in this Eagles Dallas matchup. I got a few more things I want to kind of touch on. Obviously, we gotta talk about JC, man. JC just absolutely, he's wrong here. For people who don't know by now, you know, Jalen Carter was officially fined and, you know, served his 1-game suspension as he didn't take a snap in Thursday's night game. But he was also provoked by one Dak Prescott, because from what I was seeing, JC was giving the linemen, a bit of an earful, and Dak was doing what you do. You instigate the situation a bit to see what you get happen. JC acted out of character, you know, spit on him, not at him like Dak did. I feel if JC was fined, that you should also fine Dak, but I get what was going on. I think the bigger thing about that was they didn't even show you Dak spitting in the direction of Jalen Carter until the weather stopped it. We were almost 3 hours into the game by the time we knew that Dak had spit at Jalen Carter too. So, my opinion, if you were suspending one of them, you were or kicking one of them out, you're kicking them both out. But we can't have Dallas Cowboys not have their quarterback prior to that. That being said, how do I go about this? I mean, definitely not happy with what Jalen Carter did. I think this is another reason why you've seen the signing of Za'Darius Smith. You know, get another veteran guy in there, somebody who could probably curtail Jalen Carter. I know it's not the easiest thing to do in the world. What I didn't like is seeing a lot of the people were like basically sitting there saying he's a trash human being, this, that, and the third, then mentioning, you know, what happened right as he was leaving Georgia and bringing up personal stuff and stuff like that. I didn't care for that aspect of it. Did he make a mistake? Absolutely. Did he own up to it? Absolutely. Should he have controlled his emotions in that situation? Absolutely. But sitting there trying to demonize him and then try to make him the only person guilty in this situation, I'm not cool with. Dak was the little kid in the schoolyard poking fun at the bully and then playing victim when the bully's beating him up. That's what you're supposed to do in that situation. Doesn't mean I'm happy about it, but we'll say this much on top of that. Dak balled out, Thursday night, and if it wasn't for King Dropsies over here, we ain't talking about an Eagles win. CeeDee Lamb left it out there, but Dak Prescott looked pretty good on his return. Jalen Carter needs to be better in between the ears right now. What are your thoughts on this one, Marvin? Do you think Dak should have gotten part of the punishment too, or are we good with everything?
So in regards to the spitting period, I think it's a cowardly thing to do because in football, they're going to play 60 plays. You have 60 plays to violently attack the man in front of you. If you want to cause physical harm to this person, if you want to have real impact with this person, you could do that in a football game. Spitting, being tough pregame is weird. Now, I'll be honest. I didn't think Dak was spitting at him. I thought Dak was just spitting. That's a very normal thing. I mean, guys, what I did is very normal. Mm-hmm. And I think the Eagle probably took it a different way, and he definitely retaliated against what he thought was somebody spitting at him. But I didn't think that was the case. And it wouldn't surprise me if the media or the NFL didn't want to come down on Dak Prescott. I mean, give me a break. You know what I'm saying? I could get that. He means he's the quarterback for America's team and yada, yada, yada. But in regards to the game itself, I was shocked at how good Dallas looked outside of those drops. I think Dallas, I mean, listen, when you look at all the drama with Micah Parsons, that Dallas game was the best thing that could have happened to Dallas because they look good. They look good in spite of not having Micah Parsons. They look good against a team who I thought was going to blow them out, literally. You know what I'm saying? So
I thought it was going to be a 2-score game.
Yeah. And Dak looked good. He looked good. And CD dropping the ball like that, coming off this, and it's sad because the whole thing with Dallas is they didn't give the money to Micah, but they gave it to Dak and they gave it to CD. And what happened in the game? You didn't have Micah, Dak balled, and the other guy he gave that bag to, he hurt y'all. He hurt y'all bad.
Well, let's not forget he absolutely torched Adoree Jackson the first half of that game. Let's not forget about that. CeeDee Lamb didn't have a bad game. He just couldn't finish the game the way he started the game. If he finished the game the way he started the game, Dallas probably would have won by 2 scores.
When they're allocating that much, of their salary to you, the receiver, and you're the number 1 receiver, and you're wearing 88, and you're that guy, and it's the Eagles, and we're playing in Philly, you show up for that. You got to show up for that. Don't tell me about Adoree Jackson, the great Trojan that he was. Let's talk about CeeDee Lamb and them drops. That lost the game for them ultimately. He makes those catches. It was a different game because honestly, they look good. The Cowboys look good, and I was telling people, listen, the Cowboys may finish last. I mean, behind the Giants in their division. That won't be the case. The Giants are terrible, but no.
We'll get to the Giants in a minute.
To me, I walked out of that game thinking that the spitting incident was horrible, and I hope that player is held accountable for that. And thinking that the Cowboys look good. That's and they play. And I think the Eagles are without question the team in the NFL to beat right now. They look good against them. So
I think right now, if I'm looking at the conference, it's not after seeing week 1, it's Detroit ain't it. They're going to absolutely miss both of their coordinators, and Jared Goff looked absolutely lost. Yeah. And the Green Bay Packers are also for real with Micah Parsons playing limited snap. He had Penei Sewell spinning like a top. Had a big stack. I think the energy up there is going to be different for him. So I'm excited as far as that aspect of it go. But the other thing is Jalen Hurts put the team on his back and somehow was still villainized it for this game. AJ Brown only had one target. Well, obviously AJ Brown is injured, and that's why they're not going to him big right now. But to sit there and not give Jalen credit for putting that team on his back and making sure they won, he had big runs. He didn't have push touchdowns that week. Some of the stuff that the little nuanced things that he does, and me and Ben talk about this all the time. The audibles he makes. I still feel that the scheme wise with the wide receiver routes still leaves much to be desired. I had the same problem with them last year under under the previous coordinator. I felt that the scheme was so easy to kind of see through. This is why these guys are having problems getting open, getting receptions, things like that. But when you have somebody like Jalen Hurts who could just put the team on his back in the manner that he did, and then somehow we're still talking about how Joe Burrow is a better quarterback when I don't even think Burrow threw for 200 yards this week. Didn't look that great against the Browns, but somehow, we still have to talk about, how Jalen's a bottom 10 quarterback, and, he has a super team carrying him around him. I don't know. I think he carried them Thursday night. So, what do you think on it, Marvin? You think Jalen did good? Obviously, we just gave the Cowboys their flowers, and Dak was looking good. And if it wasn't for CD, we're having a different conversation this week. But Jalen Hurts also balled out too.
Jalen Hurts, he beats everybody. He beats all the top quarterbacks, all of our favorite quarterbacks. Yet and still, guys like me, have a hard time giving him his credit just because of style of play. And I think that's what you kind of spoke to earlier, talking about the offense. They could probably do more, showcase him in different ways. But he by record, by resume, he's an elite player. He is. I don't know why. I mean, we struggle to put that on him, but his resume and his records say he's an elite player. His championship rings, his conference championships, his playoff wins. They say elite player. But people struggle with that. At the end of the day, he's gonna need that 2-minute offense. End of the game, fourth quarter, where he's just throwing the ball from the pocket, and it's just him. We're leaning on him. No tush push, maybe a little screen. He needs that iconic moment, that iconic series, for people to say, okay, this guy.
But here's the thing: he's already done it. He's already had a bad game in Kansas City where they were winning a few years ago in bad weather and takes them down there in the fourth quarter and wins it. Same thing against Buffalo a few years ago here in Philadelphia. Back and forth type game. The Bills are up. He takes them down there, ties it, and then in overtime, he runs it in for a touchdown to win the game. He has had some of those moments. It's just for whatever reason that he isn't kind of getting the national love. He gets love here. He gets hate here in Philadelphia, but I don't, for whatever reason, he's still not elite to the media figurehead. One more thought on this one, and let's get Ben caught up since technical difficulties always went out.
Oh man, I'm back now. I mean, I know you guys are talking about Jalen Carter first, real quick.
Yeah. Give your thoughts on we talked about Jalen Carter. We talked about how good Dallas looked, how good Dak looked. The 4 drops probably was the main factor. How the game is perceived. Your thoughts, Ben?
The Jalen Carter situation is the one I hope never ever happens again. I know that Dak was talking about how he spit on the ground, kind of down on the ground, and Jalen asked him, "Did you try to spit at me? Did you try to spit on me?" And then Jalen spit on him. I'm not a fan of spitting on nobody. I don't care what the situation is. Do not spit on me. Don't do that. I don't care how much you don't like me. I don't care how much I don't like you. I am not condoning Dak spitting towards Jalen, but I absolutely condemn Jalen spitting on Dak, right? And Dak addressed it when Dak didn't have to, but he said, "Yeah, I did spit on the ground, got out of hand," and he was still complimentary of Jalen. He said he's a really, really good player. Things got out of hand. It happened. Jalen Carter didn't mince words. He didn't try to appeal it. He already served his 1 game suspension, and he got Jalen will learn from this. I'm not going to judge any player on his worst moment, nor will I judge a person on it. It happened. It was unfortunate. Find a way to move on from it. As far as Dak Prescott shows that when he is healthy, they got a shot. They got a shot because George Pickens was on the milk carton most of the game. You did not hear anything from George Pickens almost the entire game. CeeDee Lamb got to come up with them catches even if they don't win the game. It goes back to what I said about Derrick Henry. I don't care what you did. What did or didn't win us the game or put us in position. Your job is to put us in position to win the game, and it happens. It happens. Quinyon Mitchell, though, when he was on Quinyon, we didn't hear from him a lot. I will say this, though. Dallas looked good. They played extremely well. But I think the thing about the Dallas Cowboys is this. Dallas is putting Dak in a position to be just like Josh Allen. He got to play well for them to win. They're not going to win a lot of games like that. Josh Allen been doing it since he got drafted. That's nothing. Yeah, I got it. Let's do it. If Dak got to play like that for them to win, he might not make the whole season because this is going to be predicated on his health, his arm, his decision-making, and his supporting staff. Supporting cast, you know what CD's going to give you. George Pickens did some old, he did some old sucker stuff too. He was out there, I think he took out safety or whatever, slammed him on the ground. Man, don't do that, man. Come on. Like he was running to block him, he slammed him on the ground. George, they're gonna have to watch that. There's a reason why they didn't give George Pickens a long extension. They gave him a 1 year. There's a reason why. Hey, dude, we got to see how this dude does during the year. But Dallas on Thursday night played extremely well. They just came up short. With Dak, I'm sorry, with Jalen Hurts, they took Saquon away. AJ Brown had one catch. Devonta Smith, I mean, he was there. Dotson was there. Goddard was there. Oh, did I cut out on y'all?
Yeah, you cut out. You froze right there. You back.
I said I know.
You actually heard Dotson was there.
Yeah, I know that everybody thinks that Jalen Hurts is good because he has the Avengers around him. They didn't look super on Thursday night, and they still won the game. Jalen Hurts, this is how he plays football. I'm going to play according to what the situation requires. That's it. If you need me to be super, I'll be super. If you need me to play within the confines of the game, I'm going to do it. And guess what? I care about when they say, what's your favorite thing to do? Win. I just want to win. And I think we've gotten so caught up in how it looks and not that you did it. Jalen says, I just want to win, man. But Jalen's is carrying on the legacy of a lot of Philadelphia Eagle quarterbacks. Randall Cunningham wasn't loved outside of Philly like that. Not outside of Philly. Jonathan McNabb definitely wasn't loved outside of Philly like that. And he was an incredible football. So I think it's more of a Philly thing because it's not the media darling. You know, it ain't Eli in New York. It's 2 Super Bowls. He ain't doing that outside. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? So I think for Jalen Hurts, he's saying, look, y'all didn't think I was that good at Alabama. That's why y'all benched me for 2. I went on to Oklahoma. I was a Heisman Trophy runner-up. Who did I throw to? CeeDee Lamb. That's who I was throwing to. So CeeDee know what I can do. No, and then I get drafted 2nd round. Carson Wentz was a starter. I got Nick Foles out of town. And then when Nick got hurt again, I came in. I've been a starter since then. My resume is what it is. If Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Joe Burrow had my resume, they would give them $500 million if they had their resume right now. It's because they don't. Lamar can't beat Josh. Josh can't beat Patrick, and Jalen can beat them all. I could beat all of them. Line them up. I could beat Lamar. I could beat Josh. I could beat Patrick. I could beat Justin Herbert. I could beat Joe Burrow. I could beat Matthew Stafford, Jaden Daniels. Name them. Either I've already beat them or I haven't played them yet. So with Jalen, he goes, I'm good. I don't care nothing about no media. When they did this summer during the preseason, when the young lady asked him to do the TikTok dance, and he told her flat out, no, I'm not doing no dances. And it wasn't her. I don't dance. You know how many players would have felt the pressure to become a part of a TikTok craze? I guarantee you, Jaden Daniels don't got a TikTok. I bet you, he like, man, I'm not trying to be so. He rolls to the beat of his own drum, and he understands what I mean to my team. I might not get y'all might not like me, but ask anybody that got to play against me. Ask any one of them. What is it like playing against Jada? And the both times he played against Kansas City in the Super Bowl, he was the best quarterback out there both times. Because he would have got MVP had they won the first time. So I get it. It ain't gonna be flashy, man, like these other guys.
Doesn't need to be.
But here's the thing. Last time I checked, hold on. I just have to because I usually have this stuff. I usually have this stuff pulled up. Jalen Hurts. I want to make sure the stat line because he didn't look super. The NFL record for most rushing touchdowns is 75, right? That would be by Cam Newton. Jalen Hurts has 57. All I'm saying is that record's going down. That record's going down.
I think Josh Allen's going to break it first, but I think Jalen will catch Josh. Jalen will catch Josh.
Jalen gonna catch Josh, and Jalen gonna catch Cam. What Cam gonna say when he say, "Hey Cam, I got more rushing touchdowns than you. I know you didn't have the tush push, but you was 6'5", 6'6". I'm about 6'1", 6'2", about 215."
Cam was MVP.
But then he got Cam got the league MVP. He does.
Yeah.
He does have the league MVP. So does Boomer Esiason. Boomer Esiason got an MVP, don't it? Boomer was nice when he was in Cincinnati. I would ask Marvin. Marvin Cam said he wouldn't trade his regular season MVP for a Super Bowl MVP. If Marvin Powell was a regular season MVP or a Super Bowl MVP, which one would you want?
I'll be honest with you. I would want the Super Bowl MVP.
You know why you really want the Super Bowl MVP, Marvin?
With the Super Bowl. Without that, yes. So hold on. So here's the thing. That, I want the MVP. You know what I'm saying?
You know why you want that Super Bowl MVP? Because if somebody goes, "You Marvin Powell," right? Somebody goes, "No, that's Super Bowl MVP, Marvin Powell." Because I know it's only one regular season MVP, right? Super Bowl is the game of all games. It ain't the World Series where you get 7.
Nah, man. Now you're getting into the Eli Manning conversation, and
No. Cam said he wouldn't trade it.
Right.
Well, Cam's also sitting there saying that Jalen still has something to prove. I don't know what else he has to prove to anybody.
He's right. Listen, he right. We all got something to prove. But here's the thing, though. When it's all said and done, and Jalen's career is over, that's gonna be a lot of rings, man. He already got 2 NFC championships. He got 1 Super Bowl. And all I'm saying is, no, the MVP of the NFL is prestigious. I will never take that. Is one of the most prestigious awards there is, right? But if running backs can rush for 2,000 yards and not get it, a running back rushed for 2,000 and didn't get it, that means it's a quarterback award if another player does something like LaDainian Tomlinson when he broke the touchdown record. Wait a minute. Derrick Henry didn't win when he went for 2,000.
Right.
Wait a minute. Chris Johnson didn't win it when he went for 2,000. Did Adrian Peterson win it? I think Adrian Peterson won it when he went for 2,000 because he came off an ACL tear the year before. Here's the thing. 2,000 yards in the NFL, that's one of the hardest, if not the hardest thing to do. One player runs for 2 bands, and you're going to be like, give him the NFL Offensive Player of the Year. What? I'm just saying, Josh Allen earned it. I ain't taking nothing from it. But a season like Saquon's, man, we got to set. I know it's documentary coming out, but 2,000 yards. And why is it the most receiving yards ever in the National Football League for one season is held by Megatron, 1,900 or some yards? Because that's how hard it is, right? But the 2,000-yard club, OJ, and what? I mean, Derrick Henry and Adrian Peterson and Chris Johnson, Saquon. It ain't like 8 or 9. Jamal Lewis, it ain't like 8 or 9 dude. In the history of the league, 8 or 9 dude. Jalen, keep playing your game, young man. You ain't doing nothing right if you ain't got criticism coming at you. And it's coming from everywhere. But guess what they ain't gonna do and will never do? They won't see you on Sunday. Unless they in the stands.
Now, one last thing on the Michael Parsons thing. Obviously he looked. In the limited snaps he had last week, he was looking great. Did you heard what Jay Glazer said before? I think it was they had him on before the game Saturday, right? Was that the Eagles made a push for Micah? Obviously, Jerry Jones didn't even respond to the call or anything like that. You knew he wasn't going to trade him. He was trying to get him to the AFC, and he wasn't getting the response he wanted. That Howie Roseman, as he's still wheeling and dealing, we traded for Bigsby. Zaire Smith's here now to kind of give us a veteran presence on that defensive end front, but offering them 2 firsts, a third, a fifth, and another player that they didn't name. And Jerry didn't take that. That's how we talked about it at the draft. There's a Philly tax, right? Well, obviously, we didn't get that. I guess Jerry forgot when the Eagles traded Terrell Owens to Dallas after the debacle that happened between McNabb and T.O. here in Philadelphia. That we do still trade superstars between one another, but I guess he didn't want to have to see Micah twice a year. Sent him to Green Bay, who had already beaten the brakes off him and owns the biggest loss in Cowboys history is against those Green Bay Packers. I don't know why you would send him there, but Howie is a wizard trying to make things happen. But Micah Parsons is definitely going to be a force in Green Bay and is going to be a superstar there in Green Bay. Is probably the biggest star they've had there since Reggie White. I know Brett Favre's been there. I know Aaron Rodgers been there. There's you've had other big name defensive players on that roster as well. I just think Mike is going to be different there, and he is going to have them being the number one or number 2 seed in the NFC this year because of Michael Parsons. What are you feeling in this one, Ben? Jerry didn't get enough back for his hatred for Philadelphia, and also your thoughts on Green Bay looking as good as they did.
Jerry Jones is not the best owner as far as like decisions, but he got a little petty in him now. I'm not sending him to Philly. What? No, I don't care what y'all offering. I don't care if you offering me number 1 picks for the next 4 years because. I think that's what a lot of teams do. Like we ain't gonna trade you within the division. We ain't doing that. Nah, we know what you're capable of. And Jerry Jones can say we better off without Michael Parsons, but we gonna be better off. Usually they send you to a team that don't go to the playoffs and it's cold. That's what they usually send you. They not sending you to. They send you to
someplace cold. That's for sure.
But I think I will say this about the whole Michael Parsons, Jerry Jones situation. Jerry Jones just realized he ain't got as much pull as he used to. Michael Parsons respects you, but dude, when I said I don't want to be a Dallas Cowboy no more, you thought I was calling your bluff. I was calling your bluff. What's up? You don't want me here? Get rid of me. Jerry Jones put him on the trader block at 1 o'clock, 1-on-1. He was a Green Bay Packer. They had already that. David Mailata, he had already sent that paperwork over there. But I will say this about Michael Parsons, though. Michael Parsons is the best defensive player since Charles Woodson in Green Bay. Charles Woodson won Defensive Player of the Year when he was there in the slot. And you don't believe and to kill the entire Lane Johnson Penei Sewell debate. Michael Parsons said that Penei Sewell kid is gonna be good. He's a star. But I don't have to deal with Lane Johnson anymore. Lane Johnson and me used to have some epic battles. And now he go from Lane to Penei Sewell, which I don't know how that's gonna fare for him to get him 2 times a year. But no, I mean the Michael Parsons situation is a cautionary tale of superstar athletes demand players and money. You're gonna have to give up players to get them, and you got to get a bunch of money to keep them. And he had 1 sack, on Sunday. But those people keep talking about Michael Parsons and how does he stop the run? Do we really care? Can he get to the pass? They paid him because he's had 12 or more sacks for 4 straight years. I don't want to hear this stuff that you don't say about nobody else. Do you? So Myles Garrett, Did he get all that money because he can stop the run? No linebackers do that. Does Max Crosby get the money because he can stop the run? Or what about TJ Watt? Trey Hendrickson had 35 sacks and get his money. You know you a great player when people starting to say, is he that good? Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I got a guy that can get off the field on third down, create havoc every passing down, and you got the game plan against him. So yeah, I do believe Green Bay won this because I don't care who you get first round. If it ain't a Michael Parsons type player, you're gonna forget him anyway. You know how many first rounders don't pan out just like second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. So just because they've got 2 first rounders don't mean they're gonna be. I mean, didn't Trey Lance go first round? Didn't Mac Jones go first round? Remember Josh Rosen that went first round out of UCLA?
Josh Rosen, holy crap!
Josh Rosen was on about 14 teams in 3 years. He was the first round pick, right? Don't let the first round pick make you think. Daniel Jones was the first rounder, right? Anthony Richardson was the 4th overall pick. He's already a backup. I'm telling y'all, it made it look. We know what we're looking at. Michael Parsons, I got 2 first round picks or whatever. Are they Michael Parsons? Nope. It's gonna be Ezekiel Elliott was the first rounder, right? Where is he at? I think he got the second most rushing touchdowns in Dallas Cowboys history. So Micah is in a place that wants him on a team that's going to be contending. That's looking like the class of the NFC right now. First week of the season, we'll see how the season go. And if you are Jerry Jones, Jerry said, "I already got Dallas faithful man." I mean, if this boy is if Howie Roseman would have got Michael Parsons, I'm not doing this show no more. I'm just no, man. I don't know what Howie Roseman is doing. He got Mechie. He goes out there and get Tank Bigsby. You mentioned Zaire. What Howie Roseman does to every other GM is let them know y'all boys ain't doing y'all job like me. I'm always working. I'm always looking. Tank Bigsby had an okay game, and because he had an okay game, he's a Philadelphia Eagle. That boy woke up an Eagle. He went from Jacksonville to Philly. And people think, oh, he got traded. Yeah, that's an upgrade where he's going. So, yeah, I'm happy that it all worked out for everybody involved. I think Jerry Jones thought he bought the Dallas Cowboys from doing a handshake, right? Well, he also shook Michael Parsons' hand and said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna make you the highest paid. Not if you don't talk to my agent." Well, we don't need your agent. Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. I mean, that's the point of having an agent. That's like going to court with no lawyer. I don't represent myself. Talk to my representation. They're going to speak for me. David Mailata might be the best agent right now. And to tell David we've already done the contract, who done it? And when Stephen Jones said, we've had players come to us and say, hey, we don't really want to do negotiate. We're going to let y'all do it for us. I am calling BS on that. I don't believe that. So Marvin is a Dallas Cowboy. He said, listen, Steven, listen, Jerry, I know I got an agent, but when it comes time for me to re-up, I trust y'all to do it. If a player did say that, I want to know who this player was. But who does that? I want the Joneses to negotiate for me. Is my last name Jones? I know Pac-Man Jones didn't let them negotiate when he was up there with them. So yeah, it all worked out. He's not an Eagle. If 2 guys would have became Eagles, I'm not doing this show no more. Kyle Pitts, had he become an Eagle in the offseason, I'm done. Him to go there with it, and Michael Parsons. Y'all didn't get either of them. Well, you ain't got Kyle Pitts right now. 2026 is coming. And you know why? You know why I said that? Because Howie Roseman went to Florida. Kyle Pitts went to Florida. He had to draft all these Bulldogs and all these Alabama boys. He want to get a Florida Gate in there. He had Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, but know how that worked out. So yeah, it all worked out though. It all worked out.
All right, Marvin, your thoughts on Jerry balking on Philadelphia and Micah Parsons just doing his thing there in Green Bay, looking good.
Yeah. So with Parsons, I have really 2 thoughts. I think Ben kind of had a lot of good points there. Number one, what it tells me is that these NFL teams, they can sign whoever they want to. Whenever you hear these NFL teams these owners talk about the money and the ability and the cap. The reality is they can move whatever they need to move. They can redo whatever they have to redo to sign somebody, because this guy just signed for a crazy amount of money, right? How many guys does Philly already have under contract? y'all got quite a few dudes under contract ready, right? So the fact that they were going to trade away everything and give him a mega contract just tells me how much Jerry Jones and the rest of these owners are full of crap when they talk about the struggles to sign somebody. The other point with Micah is, Jerry obviously he realized, that people in Dallas want to get this done. Fans were, losing their minds just considering the fact that this hasn't been done yet. And, when the possibility of him being traded came up, he said it wasn't going to happen. People swore it would never happen. All the pundits, all the experts, this would never happen. And it happened. Can you imagine if it happened and he was going within the division and he was going to the Eagles? I mean, going to Green Bay is one thing. Going into the conference is one thing. But you going to you giving the Super Bowl champions one of the best young NFL players on the defensive side of the ball? Are you crazy? So that's my thoughts when you say that Howie tried to sign Micah. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, obviously, the results, his resume says what it says. It is what it is. This guy he's elite in the NFL. And the fact that he had the audacity and he found a financial path to bring this guy in, knowing he'd have to re-sign him. I mean, Jerry Jones must have been. I mean, honestly, he must have been crapping in his pants, thinking, wow, this guy wants more. He wants my best young gun. He can afford it. He can make room for it. So, not surprised at how he tried to make that move. It's a boss move. It's what guys like Howie do. And, I think Jerry would have been ran out of Dallas if he would have gave the Eagles a player of Michael Parsons' caliber. That's my thoughts on Michael Parsons. Yeah.
I don't disagree with you that they probably would have been it'd been like a episode of The Simpsons. The whole town coming with pitchforks and torches, waiting for Jerry to come out of the complex. But as far as wish Micah the best. Glad we don't got to see him twice a year. Obviously, we're going to still have to see him once a year, at least playoffs or when we get matched up with Green Bay. But I think he solidifies a lot of things for Green Bay. The fact that he got $47 million in over the next handful of years, getting more money than Patty Mahomes, is exactly what Micah had in mind. David Mailata is one of the best agents, and for people who don't know, he just signed Reed Blankenship here in Philadelphia. So we're gonna have to deal with David at some point in the next year or so as Reed's contract's up. But boss moves, making me go to the next subject here. There are a lot of people that are not happy about this. Rams owner, Kerry Azray Gordon is on the sidelines. Has a play sheet, headphones on, wants to be hands-on with how she is as an owner. Some people are upset about this. Some people, think it's a good thing. I'm going to start off with Marvin on this one. You think she's overstepping her role as an owner, or is she trying to familiarize herself with everything she can with the game, being a woman as an owner of an NFL franchise?
So listen, I think the bigger issue or part of the issue here is that it is a woman. I think that's part of the narrative and why it's such a big deal to a lot of people. She owns a team. It's her team. She can do whatever she wants to do. You know what I'm saying? Is it crazy? No, I don't think it's crazy. I think it's micromanaging. I think that unless she understands X's and O's, unless she understands the game at that level, which she might, I don't know, it'd be weird. It's weird. What are you doing? What are you trying to? What do you think this looks like? Are you going to speak into the mic? If you hear the head coach call a play, are you going to say no? Don't call that. Call this. You know what I'm saying? No, seriously. Like so. Is she just trying to learn the culture of her coaching staff? Is she trying to learn football? I don't know, but if you have headset on and there's a mic and that mic is on, to me, it's as if you're going to interject at some point and give your 2 cents. If she's not qualified for that, I hope she's not starting something, with this. I don't think. No, this could be a trend. You never know. I'm actually surprised Jerry Jones doesn't do this. I'm surprised Jerry Jones doesn't have a headset and a mic and talking to the coach in the middle of the game. But Listen, she's the owner. She has the right to do whatever she wants to do. I'm assuming she's just trying to learn and try to grasp what's happening because she's in those coaches. She's in some of those meetings, asking the coaches what they're doing, big picture plan for this game, whatever it may be. I just hope she doesn't speak into the mic during the game and mess something up. That's my thoughts on that.
Ben, your thoughts on this?
I mean, Marvin said it first. It's because she's a woman. People gonna blow it up. They're gonna have something to say because she's a woman, right? Marvin said something else too. He's giving Jerry Jones ideas. I guarantee you she is. Wait. Now let me say this. Most people aren't in a situation like her, and if I'm not mistaken, she has 2 sisters as well.
Yes. She has 2 other sisters that she also reports to, yes.
No one knows what it's like being in a high-profile position as a woman in sports. No one knows what it's like because they respect who she is and what she does, but because of how we treat women, see women in the NFL, she has to deal with that. Now, they ain't going to say it to her openly because she's the boss. But I don't know what it's like to step into something that my daddy started and to try to show them, hey, man, I'm with y'all. And no one says she's going to continue to do this. This could be a trial and error type thing. I want to see how these things go. And she could just be listening. But the NFL is already going through its own changes. It's not like she's doing something in this is an innovative type NFL now. We got more games overseas in the NFL than we've ever seen. We're starting the season off with them. So I think for us, we just get behind her and see what she's trying to do with it. Because we all know this. If it's working or if it works, let's keep it. If it doesn't, she's gonna be right back. She's gonna be right back up there in that owner's booth, right, watching the game, watching it probably where her sisters are. And I guarantee you, she probably told the team, I'm gonna be on the sideline. I'm not trying to be a distraction. I'm not trying to be in nobody's way. I'm not trying to overdo some calls, supersede anything, but it's you trying it out. You trying it out. I didn't think I would like this new kickoff format, but it's working. I mean, it's working, right? It's limiting the collisions. So I think with anything, since nobody's like her, she's like, well, look, ain't nobody like me in the NFL. Let me try to go out there and be innovative, and let's see what's going on now. If Daniel Jones gonna look like that because she on the sideline, be on the sideline, young lady. Be on that sideline. If he gonna look like that. But I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine.
So my thoughts on this one is, from what I'm understanding, is this is more of a one-on-one between her and the coaches. So somebody isn't just trying to blow smoke up her butt, and she's just completely ignorant to what they're trying to relay to her. And so somebody isn't trying to pull the wool over her eyes. Is kind of my understanding on why she's doing this, and also making sure she's educated, knows X's and O's, personnel, etc. I agree with Marvin. I don't think that if you have the mic and the call sheet and all that other stuff, that owner or not, I don't think she should be calling plays or infringing on plays or anything like that. I don't think that's what she's intending on doing. I do think it's more of her educating herself and having that thing that she's hands on to the point where you can't just sit there and say, oh, well, this is your dad's team. This isn't your. She's trying to make sure that no one can say this ain't your team. No, she's making a statement saying this is my team. I am 100% in on this, and I'm going to learn everything I have to learn, regardless of what the curve is. So, but I also agree with the fact that the reason why we're having the questions about this is because, in fact, yes, she is a woman. And we've never seen a woman take this approach when it comes to ownership. Obviously, we've seen Jeannie Buss, we've seen all the Reds owner, what was it, Mark Stott? She was a handful for the Reds there for quite some time. But it's I'm all for this. I have no problems with it. I don't think anyone should have any problems with it.
Yeah,
I'm glad that she's injecting herself into this to the point. Some people, when your dad dies and you wind up inheriting things like this, They just get somebody else who knows what they're doing and bring them in and have them consult and stuff like that. And you still go about your daily life. She is 100% in on this team. She's invested, and I think that means good news for the Colts and the organization. Go ahead, Ben.
Hold on, Steven. Though, let's not assume though that she don't know football. See, what happens is we put this moniker on women. Women don't know football. You know how many men talk football? They never played it. Never. Like they've never been out there. So let's kill the myth of, well, she don't really know football. Based off of what? Her gender? Really? No. When the mom became the team mom when little Timmy was 7 and mommy didn't know football, she's bringing the snacks. But she sat there and watched. Oh, okay, I see what the offense does. Oh, I see what the defense does. No, what you don't want is her to know football and know what she's looking at. Like, what type of scheme is that? So I would say it's less about her and more about we put this moniker on women that they don't know sports. They just work for ESPN. They're with L. Duncan and Mika Himes. Yeah, they do. Like, yes, they do know what they're saying. Skip Bayless is known as his guru, and not to get on Skip. He's never played football, but what he say goes. Has Colin Coward ever played football? What he says goes. So all I'm saying is she's just trying something new. Stephen, Marvin, myself, if we inherited something from the family business, that's huge. I want them to know, look, man, I'm a part of this thing, and I know a lot more than, I'm not on the field, but I know a lot about this thing. I know what I'm looking at. And if she wants to learn, it's better to learn, what do a backup quarterback do when they ain't playing? On the sideline watching, right? And they watch and they watch and they watch. Aaron Rodgers did it. Jordan Love did it. Phillip Rivers did it. Ain't nobody saying he ain't a football player. He ain't even played. No, you watch so I can see let me get the flow of the game. Let me get the environment. Okay. And like I say, it's about us. Anybody that says things like she's a woman, what's she doing out there? I already know how you see women. Because guess what? Marvin, Steven, and myself, we all thought we knew women. Till they moved in with us and they shared our last name. Good God, we really got to know them. And baby, I ain't saying nothing negative now. I'm just telling you, I love you. But when they moved in, we see women a lot differently now because she's right there with us. So I think it's gonna be fine, man. I'm rooting for her. That's a lot of pressure. Her daddy made a football state and city start root. I mean, her daddy made a basketball state and city start rooting for football. Indianapolis, when you think of Indianapolis, you think of the Motor Speedway and basketball. You do not think football. And now it's a football town. So she just want to carry on that legacy, and I'm rooting for her.
Yeah, there's no doubt that she's been groomed for this. I mean, she's been with her father, you know what I'm saying, her whole life. So this is a situation where she's been around him, that culture, the team, the game. I would bet you she would be highly impressive in a one-on-one conversation where you just talking football and you don't know what you're going to get. I think she would blow you away, to be honest with you. I never heard her speak. I don't know anything about her, but just knowing who she is and the role she's in and who her dad is, yeah, she's a football head without question. Does she know it like a person who played? No, but I'll tell you what, I bet you would be entertained and impressed if you spoke to her.
Now, one last thing on Indiana, the Indianapolis Colts. I got to say this. Obviously, Daniel Jones looked great. They blow the doors off the Miami Dolphins and things of that nature. They've known him as Danny Dimes before. Well, I came across this graphic. I got to pull it up. Danny Dimes is dead. He is now Indiana Jones. What do you think, Ben? You go with that?
Listen, let me tell you something. There's the thing about a nickname. Nicknames only come from two places. Your family growing up and your teammates. You cannot give it to yourself. Don't tell me I call myself, don't care. Family gave it to you. Teammates gave it to you. That means you earned them both. And that is him being embraced by the city. And listen, Daniel Jones played in New York. There is nothing Indianapolis fans can say to him to hurt his feelings. He played in New York. When he on the front cover of the New York Times, the Daily News, he got real coverage. I'm not saying they ain't got big time media in Indy. I'm happy for Daniel Jones, though. I mean, because Daniel Jones saw what happened to Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield
and Jared Goff. Sometimes I'm just in the wrong spot. I could play. Put me in the right spot with a running game and Michael Pittman Jr., right? And Warren, the tight end. And hey, man, that defense right now is loving the fact they got Daniel Jones. Not that he's a better quarterback than Anthony Richardson, but dude, we know what he's gonna do. There aren't a lot of. He's not gonna do anything off script. Like I said, certain players get to play off script. Josh Allen can play off script. You know, Jaden Daniels can play. Jalen Hurts can play off script. Jaden Daniels can play off script. Daniel Jones don't play off script. I'm right here. Give me what I got to do. Let's do it. And now I'm in the NFL record books. I mean, in one game, Peyton Manning ain't do that. You know what I mean? So, hey man, shout out to that man. Shout out to him.
What are your thoughts, Marvin? Should Danny Dimes die and we start calling him Indiana Jones? And what are you thinking about his week 1 performance over those Miami Dolphins?
Look, I'm a guy who thought Daniel Jones got picked way too soon and was put in a tough situation out there in New York. And he did all this at the same time, as I said, as young Lamar Jackson, young Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, seeing so much success early in their careers. He struggled. He's a guy, he needed more time in the oven. He needed more experience in the building. He just needed more time to be that. I'm not surprised at his week 1 success. I think he's a good player. I thought he was a good player in college. I thought he was picked way too soon. And I think he's a guy who you give him a few years in the building, a few years in the NFL system, you give him a good offensive coach, I think you have a good player. And I think that's what we're seeing. So Indiana Jones, come on, let's do it. I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. But yeah, this guy earned his stripes to a degree and got tough out in New York. That New York media is brutal. They have no mercy. They have no regards for your feelings or your family. They give it to you 7 days a week raw, and it hurts. And I used to live in New York. I love the New York media just for that. But this kid's I think he's going to have a good year. If they can protect him, they can run the ball. I like him in his 4th, 5th year.
All I need to know about Daniel Jones is how Saquon Barkley talks about him. You know, Saquon loves Danny Jones. You know, he was advocating for him. You know, after what happened to him last year, says don't count Danny out. Danny's that dude. And then you see what he does. You know, small game sample, obviously. You know, against the Dolphins. You know, does his thing. And I'm with you too. I'm all in on Indiana Jones. That would be a kind of cool new persona to kind of give himself as he starts a new chapter in his NFL career. Be remiss not to go back and talk about the Dolphins. They got a lot of things going on. We talked about it last night on Inside the Pigskin, but got to bring this up. The stuff that's going on with Tyreek Hill. Me and Ben talk about this stuff all the time. Guys falling weakness to some of these fast women, and his estranged wife now is getting a $50K a month thing, payment from Tyreek. Gets a $500K lump sum, and he is also has to give her access to the $5.5 million condo they had down there in Miami. Ben, again, let's start it off with you. Tyreek's got a lot going on. He's arguably still one of the fastest, more respected wide receivers in the NFL. Again, guys got to protect themselves. What do you think is going on here with Tyreek, and what do you think he needs to do to kind of help get him out of this unfavorable situation that he's put himself in?
Got to go out there and play good football. It's unfortunate. Public figures, when you make everything public, when you make your private life public, you got to live with what comes with it, good or bad. And that's why most guys who are married or have significant others, they do their best to tell that person, this is all I got. All I got is my private life because I'm a public figure. So if you are Tyreek Hill, who is very, very open about whatever he does, and I want to say he was married to Kenny Vaccaro's sister, former first-round pick out of Texas. But here's the thing. It happens every day. It's happening. I mean, divorce is a It's a crazy thing. If you've ever had to go through it, it's rough, man. It's rough on guys who don't have as much as a guy like Tyreek Hill. But $500K lump sum, $50,000 a month, you get to stay in the mansions, you get $100,000 for a new car, got to pay. Chris Rock said he woke up one day, he had 3 lawyers, his wife had 3 lawyers. He had to pay for his lawyers, he had to pay for her lawyers. He had to pay her lawyers to take his money. He said he realized in that moment, I made it. You made it. Sometimes you got to know you made it in different ways. And if you are Tyreek Hill, this is the cost of doing business. Look, I do not know their public life. I do not know what did or didn't happen with their marriage, but he has a little girl with her. And you want to do right, even if it don't feel good, even if it don't feel right. Look, it happens, man. It happens. And I don't know how the laws are in the state of Florida, but most of the time in divorce, if you ain't got prenups, and I'm not telling nobody what to do or not to do, this is what happens. They have divorce lawyers for a reason. That's all they do. So, Tyreek, you are a football player. Go out there and play football. It happened in the public. You don't like it. You wish it wasn't public, but it is. It is. Now go out there and control what you can control, because the thing about Tyreek Hill is if he ain't careful, people gonna start looking at him for his antics and not his play. Because he's always just grown about something. He don't want to be a Dolphin one day. He do want to be a Dolphin the next day. I got to do what's best for me and my family. You saw everything that happened on Hard Knocks with the getting arrested and his house catching on fire and all these things. He's becoming more of a lot to deal with, whether it was him or not him. So I wish him and his ex-wife the best, because he gets to speak to the camera. She don't. And it'll make her look like something when we don't even know her. We don't know what went on between him. Because Tyreek Hill, if I'm not mistaken, and I can't confirm this or deny it, had a lot of kids in 2024. A lot. And he was married the whole time. That's a lot of baby showers. And last time I checked, he got but 1 kid with his now ex-wife. She got to live through that. So public embarrassment, public shame, because she's a woman. Here we go again. So Tyreek, still take care of your ex-wife, because your daughter is going to see how you treated her mama down the line. So you got to look at the bigger picture, man. And hopefully, man, he gets his private life and private affairs in order, man, because football going to end one day. You ain't going to be able to run as fast as you always can run. Even Father Time going to catch LeBron. He ain't caught him yet, but he going to catch him too. Tyreek needs to start thinking about life after football while he has it. Because you don't want your public image to be so tarnished that by the time it's time for people want to work with you after football, they're going to look at all it. Tyreek Hill has a long track record with women. I'm just going to tell y'all that it's long. The fact that he was able to still get the opportunities he got coming out of college and everything. So, hey, man, I would love to say I'm surprised, but I'm not. You want listen, find you a woman that you want to spend life with and do life together. And if you care that much about your money, stay single, man. If you care that much about what you've attained, stay single. If you care more about your stuff than her, leave her alone. And you don't got to worry about losing it. But if it don't matter to you, man, people get divorced for irreconcilable differences or whatever that means. That means that we couldn't get along. So I don't even know what that means. But hey, Tyreek, man, I'm rooting for you and your ex-wife and your daughter and your children. I'm rooting for the man. I just like to watch you on Sundays. I'm going to leave it at that.
Marvin, your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, man. I feel like ever since he left KC, it's been negative headlines, one after the other. I mean, it's just been babies and police and, this and, quitting on the team. I feel like it's just been downhill ever since he left that situation in Kansas City. It's unfortunate. You hate to see it. At the end of the day, it's a story that you've heard 1,000 times. So listen, as long as you have fast cars and big athletes and people making money, this is going to happen. My coach used to say, Keith Burns at USC used to say, Punani is undefeated when you're young and unfocused. And he didn't say Punani when he said it. He said it's undefeated. You put up Punani against, do I work out? Do I go to the gym? Do I go to practice? Do I do this on time, or do I go get this Punani? When you're young and not focused, that you go get that Punani. So I hate this is somebody's daughter, somebody's sister, you know what I'm saying, who's going through all this. You hate to see it. It's very common. At the end of the day, there's always going to be Tyreek Hills out there. I hope that this guy can really focus on his career. Like Ben is saying, you don't want to be the guy. You don't want to be the Rodman. You don't want to be known for the antics and the crazy stuff and the bad stuff. Especially when there's a great player inside of you. So you hope this guy gets his life in order. You hope the kids have minimal trauma from all this, and you hope that moving forward he can learn to keep a more private profile, private life. But it's hard when you're a player of his caliber, making the money he's making in the city of Miami. You know what I mean? It's a tough life, but he can make better decisions. I think that's my thoughts.
Few more football subjects before we switch gears here. Obviously, wanted to talk about those New Jersey Football Giants. Obviously, Mr. Russell Wilson did not look good in his first game back, and we're gonna start this process of we know it's gonna happen, especially if they repeat the performance they had this week, next week. How long do you think it's going to be before Brian Dable is going to be clamoring for them to give Jackson Dart an opportunity? I know they brought in both Jameis Winston. I know they brought in Russell Wilson, but Jackson Dart looked really good. A lot of people are very high on him. The guys in the building are very high on them. How many games are you going to give it until the general public, fans, and the coaches staff are going to be telling the front office it's time for Jackson Dart to get his opportunity to start off for Marvin?
You know something? Listen, Dayball's on his way out of there. And what he needs to do is try to find a way to be a wild card in that NFC. And you can't stick with Russell Wilson and take these losses and still have a chance in the end. I think this kid, Jackson Dart, is athletic. I think that he is further developed than you think coming out of Ole Miss and USC and an elite high school system. These quarterbacks are further along than they were years ago. I think that the media and the fans are going to be on his neck about Jackson Dart. And I think that unless he wants to have a painful NFL season, he needs to get young blood up in there. He needs to get that young kid up in there. I like Russell Wilson. I do. I've always been a fan of his. I think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I think that he's done it the right way. He's a pro, but they need wins. And New York is a down organization. You got a hidden gem in his quarterback, I think. Now, on the other hand, a lot of people are really excited about what they saw in the preseason. Keep in mind, in the preseason, the defense is doing nothing to disrupt the quarterback. So the flashes and everything you saw on one hand, it's real and it's good, but it's also a little bit of fool's gold. It doesn't matter. For Dayball, he needs wins. He needs somebody who can give him creativity at the quarterback position. Dart can make the throws, and he's athletic. That's where you have to go. I think he's the future if the Giants have any chance of doing anything this season at all.
All right, Ben, your thoughts. Is it time for Russell Wilson to just kind of accept that he's the journeyman, he's the backup, he's no longer the face of any franchise, and let Jackson Dart develop and do his thing while him and Jameis kind of mentor what this kid can or can't do?
Yeah, that would be the easy fix. I think what Coach DeBoer is trying to do is he knows that when I go to the rookie, what it says to the veterans. Because you're gonna have to deal with the rookie mistakes when the rookie comes in. So it's when a head coach goes from the veteran to the rookie, you got to think about the whole team, right? You got to think about the fact that Jackson Dart is a project, just like every first-round quarterback. Every last one of them is I don't care how developed they are, which he could be very developed. Flashes are going to happen in the NFL. Consistency is what you want. I need you to be consistent in what you do. Russell Wilson is fighting for his NFL life. I don't know how many more years he's going to have left after this year, even if he can still throw, because what worked one point in Seattle doesn't really work outside of it. It didn't work in Denver. It didn't work in Pittsburgh. It's not really working in New York because he had more of a team around him. Now you got some players around you. I don't know how good of a team you got. You got Malik Neighbors. You got Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence and maybe Abdul Carter on defense. You don't got nobody on offense, not named Malik Neighbors, who scares anybody. Anybody on it. So Jackson Dart is going to get a chance to play. I would say it's going to be around week 5, week 6, because you don't know what type of team you got in the first month. You don't really know what team you got yet. Once I kind of see how my team is looking, and Jackson has had time to see what it's like to run out there, to see what it's like, all right, because 2 things. 1, Russell know his time has come. And 2, Jackson will know, hey, Russ, I know you might not be the mentoring type, but I need you to embrace this role. I need you to be an extension of Jameis Winston, who already knows the only way you're going to continue to make it in the NFL is to be a mentor to a young quarterback. So, yeah, this New York, week 0, they wanted Jackson Dart. They didn't want Russ or Jameis. They didn't want either one. But Coach DeBoer has been there long enough to know don't let the fans decide for you. Don't let, because the fans are the reason why you got rid of Saquon, and I guarantee you it ain't come from them. And Daniel Jones told you he wanted to leave. Think about it. Daniel Jones asked, "Can I leave? Can y'all let me out of this contract?" Yeah. Now they look at what's going to hurt Coach DeBoer is not what's going on in New York, is what's going on in Indy. That's the quarterback y'all didn't want. Because the fans are saying, look. So they're going to think, is it the head coach? But I would say week 5, because at that point, you know what Russ is, you know what the team is, you know what this division is, and if you ain't trending upward, or you ain't trending in a halfway decent, because they might pull Russ even if he's playing well. That's what people say. They might still pull him, depending on when they want to start. Because the new thing with quarterbacks now in the first round, they think everybody's ready coming out of college. That's why a lot of Anthony Richardson happens a lot. Quarterbacks not being ready, that happens a lot. So New York is such a different place because the media there, man, it's real. You ain't walking. There's a reason why both teams are in New Jersey. They can halfway live their lives. If they lived across that bridge, boy, I'm telling you, New York is a Philly. I respect Philly. I respect Chicago. I respect LA. In a sense, man, I even respect Dallas and Houston. New York, ain't no walking out, ain't no is that Russ. Yo, Russ, what's up? They finna holler at him. Ain't gonna be no, is that Justin Fields? In Jersey, you got Hackensack, you know what I'm saying? You got Bridgewater, you got Jersey City, you got Hoboken. They're gonna let you be a little bit. I live out in the burbs. They're gonna let you live. You go through the Lincoln Tunnel, go through the Holland Tunnel, go over George Washington. As soon as you get out your car. I'm trying to tell you, I lived in Jersey and I worked in New York for a little bit when for 4 or 5 years, and at the height of Odell Beckham, he had an event at Macy's. And you know what somebody told him? If you can catch it with one hand, why you keep dropping it with 2? They don't play in New York. They do not play. They'll say, you caught it with one hand, right? Yeah. Can you catch it with 2? And he's there to do an event to sign autographs. I'm yeah. They'll say, and one dude said, why you got your hair like that? What you mean? Like, why is it blonde? Is that your natural color? And I'm looking at Odell like, welcome to New York, youngin. This ain't Jersey. You got Jersey, New York fans, and you got New York fans. It's Marvin to tell you it's different. Them New Jerseyans that root for them New York teams, they're a little different. Yeah. When they from Brooklyn and the Bronx, when they from Harlem, they ain't even in the line to get no autograph. They just in the line to talk to you. What you want me to sign? Nothing. What's up with you? They had to push him. Keep going. They had to get real security information that day. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. They talk to you like you from the block. You know what I'm saying? Like
facts. Listen, facts. You know what I mean? Yeah. They don't say. I appreciate New York for this reason. I am from the South where we definitely patronize each other. Patronize means we lie to each other. We don't tell each other the truth. That does not happen in New York. They will talk about you to your face. And how I learned was I'm in the line at a deli to get some food, and they had a special. The lady in front of me says, I want the special, but I don't want the mushrooms. The guy goes, what did you just say? I don't want the lady. I'm giving you this. I'm giving you what I give you for cheaper. Take your own mushrooms out. You don't want the mushrooms, take them out yourself. I'm like, wait a minute. That is right. I'm giving you something that I pay for this much. I'm giving you to for cheaper, and you still want me to take the mushrooms out? Then the lady next to her, she was like, can I get a, she don't want, who's next? And you should know what you want. New York is, I would compare it to no other city, and I'm not saying it's the greatest city. I don't do that kind of stuff because, you know, you got Philly, you got LA, you got Houston, you got Atlanta, you got Miami. But you want brutal honesty? Once you get past Virginia, it's going to get real honest. I'm talking about, I don't know how they do in Penn State, but I know in Philly, they honest. Philly, honest. New York, brutal. You know who cab drivers hate? Uber drivers. They hate them. They're like, they hate them. I'm telling you. And excuse me, I've seen a dollar hot dog in New York will get you beat up. If that's what I sell, if this is my truck and you don't want to pay for it, you're gonna get swung on. This is the same guy that just sold it to you. I've seen it. I said, over $1. He said, Ben, it ain't the dollar. It's the principle. I made you this. Talking about I don't really want it now. Went in his mouth. I said, had to break it up, man. Sorry, man. Shout out to New York. Shout out to Jersey, too, man. I mean, Jersey is I miss living up there, man. Shout out to New Jersey high school football, who people do not give out enough love for. Them boys be knocking heads up there, too, man. Shout out to the Greg Olsons of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Now, as we get into the last football topic I want to touch on as we're getting down to the last 18 minutes or so before we wrap this thing up is Eagles have a chance to do something that's never happened to Patrick Mahomes this week. They have the opportunity to give Patrick Mahomes his first 3-game losing streak in his career. Now, obviously, we're getting into the media week, and we have nonsense coming out of Elliott Shore Park's mouth sitting there saying Sunday is an acceptable loss for the Eagles. Borderline impossible spot with KC coming off a loss in their home opener. Getting blown out is not acceptable. Losing is. Incorrect, Mr. Park. Losing to them is not acceptable under any circumstances. I don't care if they lost last week. We beat them in the Super Bowl. We beat them in the last 5 Super Bowls. If you're the better team on the field, you should win the game. I don't care what injuries we're dealing with because we don't really have a whole lot of them at this point in time, thankfully. But to sit there and tell us before we even get into the planning of the week and things like that it's acceptable to go to Kansas City to lose. No, it's not, because we went and beat them there 2 years ago. So it's not acceptable law. I do think they have an opportunity to actually do that to give Patrick Mahomes his first 3-game losing streak of his career. I do think they have an opportunity to do that. I do think you're going to be running into a buzzsaw as they fell to the Chargers, losing a divisional game like that. You're going to get not only did you beat them in the Super Bowl, we lost the season opener. This is our home opener. A lot of that's going to go. It's still not acceptable to lose that game, but I do think they're going to have a very good chance to do that, and I think they should do it. I'm going to start off with Marvin. 1, do you think they're going to do it? And 2, is it an acceptable law?
Yeah, so I would be betting on the Eagles, to be honest with you, to win this game. And when you're dealing, see, the reason that KC is KC and the reason that the Eagles are the Eagles is because of the standard they've set. So it's not acceptable for them, for either team to lose. They don't. That's not a championship mentality. No, you realize that on offense, every play is drawn up to score a touchdown. You know, both these teams are going in there expecting to win, and they have a right to have that expectation based upon the fact that you got Super Bowl champions on both sides of the field, on both ends of the field. So it's crazy for anyone to say that an NFL team, that a professional team, finds it acceptable to lose in any situation. That's just not what it is. And that just further shows you the separation and the difference between the fan and the real in the organization and in the mentality of those players and coaches and staff. It is never okay to lose in the NFL. It's just not. And with that said, I expect Patrick Mahomes to take that third straight L at the crib. No, I do. I think he's going to take that straight. I think the Eagles are a juggernaut. I think the Eagles are just too tough up front. They are. This is right now. We've seen the Patriot dynasty and the Patriot time, and we saw Mahomes in his first few years. I think this is Eagles time. I do. I think this is Eagles time. I think with the team they have in place and Howie, I think they're built to win for a while. And trust me, it is not acceptable. There's nobody in Philadelphia and nobody in that building that's saying to themselves, "No, it's acceptable. It's okay." And there's nobody.
Only if you're a media member named Elliott Shore-Parks do you think it's acceptable. I don't think there's a single soul in the city that feels that way. I don't think there's a single soul in that building that feels that way. Ben, what about you, man? You think we're gonna give Patty Mahomes his third straight loss of his career? And is it acceptable?
I do. For this reason. I think for a dynasty to fully go away, it has to be the one that started it. It can't be another team. And I think Philly is the one that shut the dynasty down. They did it in the Super Bowl. So now you get and now you get to leave no doubt. Because we forget how dominant Kansas City, they were just running the league. They're just running it. We're just watching the regular season. We knew how this story ended. We would lie to ourselves and say, oh, this team got a shot. This team got a shot to beat. Patrick Mahomes done played in so many AFC championships and Super Bowls. They got used to that in KC, right? We like, what's going on? But then the Birds was like, we got something for this. We got to be consistent enough to beat them in the biggest game of the year. We got to have beat them in the regular season before that. And we got to carry it over to the current regular season. Because somebody got to have the blueprint to beat them. And it's the Eagles. Most teams ain't good enough. Justin Herbert them beaten in the first game of the year. With Detroit beaten in the first game of the year coming off a Super Bowl a couple of years back. How did that season end? They won it all again. I think what Philly shows the rest of the league is how to beat them without gimmicks. You just got to line up and beat them. You got to have a better D-line than the O-line. You got to be able to have secondary that can match up with Patrick Mahomes and company. You got to have D-line that can frustrate Patty Mahomes, and you got to have an offensive line that can frustrate Chris Jones and company. So I do think they're going to beat them. And when Kansas City starts saying things like, it's a good loss or what, Marvin, don't give me that loser stuff. Don't give me that it's okay. Losing is never okay. I play football for a living. This is my life and my livelihood. This is what I do.
Yep.
I don't want to lose. So, yeah, I think Philly's going to do it because Philly understands the situation. They understand. Don't give me it's only the second game. No. Don't give me that it's just the second game. It's the current game. It just happens to be the second game. I think Philly gets it done because here's the opposite of that. If Philly don't get it done, Kansas City can go on a run. Because when you lose to a team that beat you last or kept you out of something, that's who you want to beat. Because it goes back to the mental side. Until Kansas City can beat Philly, that's the team they're trying to avoid. I don't really like playing them. So yeah, and Kansas City used to be the team that most teams don't even really look at that tape. I mean, throw that game away because most teams can't beat them. Look at how excited Derwin James and Justin Herbert and Harbaugh was when they beat Kansas City. They're like, oh, finally. Because they haven't done it. So I hope Philly does do it, not just to kill the dynasty, but for the rest of the league. Because for 4 or 5 years, the league was real boring because you know how it ended. Great regular season. But the same heat, but Rocky gonna beat this dude. Rocky, listen, Clubber Lang and all these other guys gonna beat him. They're gonna hit him 150 times and he gonna still win. I ain't never seen a movie. I love Rocky, but it's about as unrealistic as it get. A person that can hit that many times. You got to get older and realize, God, Rocky got a strong face. I said, no, Rocky got good production. He got good directors. But I just think that Philly's gonna do it, in my opinion, because of the type of team, and they get Jalen Carter back. So that's gonna help. But we'll see. But I do think Philly gets it done. And I want to hear not that Patrick Mahomes makes excuses when he loses, but I want to hear his reasons why they're not getting it done and why they can't get it done from that team from Philly.
All right. Listen, I think they're going to do it. I'm going to reiterate it's not acceptable. I think the only person that thinks it's acceptable is the said reporter that made that remark. I want to get into this next one because obviously, as I said, the fan etiquette part of it is definitely a part of this week's episode. Got to talk some Phillies baseball. Obviously, a big shout out to Kyle Schwarber hitting number 50 last night. There's 17 games to go. I think he is going to beat Ryan Howard's record. The magic number for the Phillies to clinch is 9. Another big win over the New York Mets last night. The Mets are metting like they normally do. But we got to talk about Karen. I found a nice little video on TikTok to kind of explain it, just in case Marvin hasn't been caught up completely on this. Let's give this one a go.
But from where the guy in the red shirt gets it, it seems too far away for them to have reached it. So I think what happened is they might have tried to get it, and they might have even touched it, but it doesn't look like they ever actually grabbed it. It looks more like they were trying to recover a fumble in football, and it got away from them.
That revelation turned the internet's ridicule into outrage. Not only did she take the ball, but she built her defense on a story that doesn't match the footage. And the internet doesn't forgive liars lightly. Within hours, the video was everywhere. Sports blogs, meme accounts, even mainstream outlets. Suddenly, one woman's bad day at a baseball game became a cultural spectacle. And the question wasn't just who got the ball, it was what her behavior revealed about viral sports culture itself. The Phillies' Karen didn't just ruin one child's moment, she accidentally united the internet against her. From the second alternate angles hit Twitter, the floodgates opened, meme accounts pounced. TikTok stitched the clip into parody after parody, and Reddit threads dissected every shriek, gesture, and excuse. Fans didn't see a tough call about who touched a ball first, they saw an adult tantrum so exaggerated it felt scripted, and they didn't hold back.
Hey, get out of there! Hear it! Hear it!
Yeah, she lost her mind. This woman completely lost her mind.
One top comment on TikTok summed up the mood. She looks like a dementor feeding on happiness. Another compared her shrill voice to a fire alarm that won't shut off. Dozens of users re-edited the clip with horror movie soundtracks, turning her screeches into jump scares. Others added Meat Canyon-inspired filters, exaggerating her face into a caricature of entitlement. Even Philadelphia fans, who are infamous for defending bad behavior in the stands, couldn't rally to her side. Instead, the consensus was brutal. She had embarrassed the city. Insiders say the Phillies organization itself wasn't blind to the fallout. According to one local sports blogger, stadium staff quickly coordinated to make sure the child got a signed bat, knowing public perception was at stake. The irony couldn't be sharper. While she clutched the ball like a trophy, the boy walked away with something priceless, backed by the entire team. That moment wasn't just a consolation prize, it was a message. The Phillies chose their side, and it wasn't hers. The timing of the meltdown made things even worse. Just days earlier, the world had exploded over Polish millionaire CEO Piotr Szczerek snatching a tennis player's hat from a boy at the US Open. That clip had already been called the worst fan moment of 2025. Now, barely a week later, another adult was caught stealing from a kid in the stands.
I had to cut the audio from this part here because of a song that plays during it, but she gets right up in this guy's face barking at him. So I'm guessing he was saying something about her behavior being embarrassing or something, so she did not take that lightly.
Commentators drew immediate parallels. Sports writer Will Leitch tweeted, "First the CEO steals a hat, now a Karen steals a ball. What's next? Someone taking cotton candy out of a toddler's hands?" The juxtaposition turned her into...
How we get the gist of this? First off, I'm going to start with Marvin on this. Obviously, this is going to be the last topic we're going to go over. I do also want to note, one, she made a statement. It was pretty bland. But the funniest thing I found out about it is a sports card company has offered her $5,000 to sign the ball to say I'm sorry, to use as some type of specialty card and things like that. So she may have a little out. She is definitely getting her medicine, rightfully so. Marvin, your thoughts on Karen? Basically, absolutely, being a self-entitled weirdo and just a wow moment.
Yeah, that's really an unfortunate moment. That people are brave. People are brave because when you confront somebody as crazy as she did, I'm shocked that it's a man and a woman. You shouldn't put your hands on a woman. But those situations where you create confrontation, you in so much agitation and negativity, and you're in somebody's face, I mean, that's violence waiting to pop up, man. That's horrible. Listen, this lady showed, she's classless. It's a horrible moment for her. You wonder how it's going to impact her moving forward. But these fans are passionate. These fans are crazy. These fans are deranged. And these fans, a lot of lose themselves in moments where they really shouldn't. I have no more words for that.
Ben, we were already talking about it last week, as the video alluded to. And yes, absolutely. Round of applause for the Miami Marlins. Round of applause for the Philadelphia Phillies. They understood the situation and absolutely hit it out of the ballpark. Go ahead, Ben.
Listen, sports entitlement is going away. This stuff happens a lot, but now we got cameras. Who do you think you are? And who do you think you are? Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? And I love it. I love the fact that she thought, man, throwing around titles and all this. And somebody said, you was at the game today? Yeah. You know you went viral. I went viral. Not for what you think. I love it. I love it. I love it. Don't like the car company because they're still trying to boost her up. No. Just make a public apology on your social media outlets like you're supposed to. Don't give her no.
She did. She's like, I had the ball and that was that. I'm like, what? Her apology was pathetic.
Here's the thing, right? Now she gonna wish she was banned because she's gonna have to change that hairstyle or something. Because every time she talks to the stadium, she gonna get heckled. They're gonna be talking trash to her. And for people saying, Ben, that ain't right. Welcome to the life of being an athlete. The athletes deal with it every single day. So you want to be famous for the wrong reasons, you got to deal with the consequences. Heckling somebody is not the same as putting your hands on them. I'm not talking about threatening, and I'm not talking about physical violence. But you brought this on yourself. We're talking about a child and an adult. And to the other guy that took the ball took the hat from the kid, you two, come on, man. I don't want that. Oh, man, he didn't really want it. They're gonna take the hat and give it to somebody, they're gonna put it away. Come on. There's some clown and buffoonery going on at these stadiums, but now it is being called out. And this is what you love about the internet. This is what you love about what we can do when it comes to social media. So, lady, you brought it to you, and then when you say they give you a chance to apologize, I had it, and that's that. You don't get it. You're gonna be getting that stuff from the homeowners association, everything. Everybody go.
She looks like one of them ladies too. It looks like one of those ladies that's that's the head of the
She's the lady that told you when you walk around the neighborhood, I saw you didn't pick up your poop from your dog. Lady, I wish. Your dog pooping in my yard. So what about that? Anyway, we've dealt with this person before, and I'm happy that at least she is getting some justice for her bad behavior. Shout out to
she was working in some school district. They immediately fired her. It's absolutely deserved. I don't care. You don't get to act like that. And I love it. I'm going to say one last thing before we wrap.
She got fired.
Yeah, she got fired. She got fired.
Wow.
I'm going to say one last thing. Bravo to Dad, because I'd have been in jail. Bravo to showing him a teaching moment of how you deal with people like that. To not lose your cool. And yeah, it was his kid's birthday, and he had every right to sit there and blow his top if he felt necessary. That kid learned a valuable lesson that no dollar man could ever put on it. It was such a teaching moment, and I'm absolutely happy for that family. I'm happy for that kid, and I'm so glad that Karen got to eat so much humble pie over the past handful of days. A lot of people say we should put this to bed. No, we need to bring this up because the only way this behavior stops is if there's recourse for it. And there's not a whole lot of recourse that happens in this world these days. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's the last 45 seconds. Ben, what are your goodbyes today? What are your parting shots?
Marvin, it's always a pleasure having you on, sir. Steven, you already know what it is. Listen. You come over here, but listen, you come over here for the nonsense. You come over here for the nuance, but you come over here because it makes sense. So use your common sense to make sure you listen to the fan in the end. I don't know what it is.
Marvin, last 15 seconds.
Hey, guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I look forward to the next opportunity to work with you guys.
Looking forward to it. Appreciate everyone tuning in. I'm Steve. He's Ben. That's Marvin. This was the Fade in the End. We'll catch you guys next week, my friends. Peace out.